Hi, I'm Marcia Perry with Youth Arts Collective, and Raven Cook and I are doing a series of video workshops that can be used at home or in the classroom. And this is kind of our gift to this wonderful community. Today we're going to do hearts, all hearts, and there's 4 different projects. We have fabric collage with making Valentines with fabric. And we have soft hearts that are made out of yarn and a little stuffing and cardboard. Dreamcatcher hearts that are made out of wire and ribbon. And we have our paper mobiles made out of paper and paint and any kind of mediums that you would like to use. And so we have demos for all of those. I hope you enjoy it. Fabric collage is a very fun medium. Save pieces of fabric. You can cut out shapes out of the fabric and put them together using a glue stick. The glue stick is the best thing. And the other thing you need for this project is preferably mat board is the best backing. That's going to be what you're going to wrap the fabric around. So first you tape the mat board, the 2 pieces of mat board together on the edge so you can fold it. And then you take it and open it up and cut your fabric around it accordingly. Get about 3/4 of an inch or so around that will be folded over to the inside. And then you really want to paint the glue all over your mat board pretty fully to get that fabric to stick. And then you just place it on carefully. Then you want to take your glue stick and paint on the glue all around the edges and also on the mat board itself. And then you just start folding it over. The corners are the tricky part. So sometimes if the fabric is thick, you want to cut those corners, but just be careful that you still get a nice fold over. Get the edges first, fold over the corner, and you're going to have to use extra glue at the corners. The important thing here is you don't get glue on the fabric. You can usually take a little paper towel and get it off, but you want to keep the fabric as clean and pristine as possible. So once you've got the whole thing covered, then you want the paper on the inside that you can write a note in. So you want to measure that paper so you can glue it right to the inside, and it covers, all the edges of the fabric. Again, you want to paint the glue generously. You can also use other types of glue, but I find glue sticks just to be the easiest and less messy. So then you just figure out what do you want your little composition to be. And we just happened to have some heart fabric, which was really convenient for this project. And I found some butterflies in another project. And the thing is, you want to paint the glue away from the center towards the edge is the best way, and use a separate piece of paper to paint the glue on top of, and just be careful that you don't place your fabric down on where you've painted glue before. So you just pat it down little things are a little trickier to glue. You just try not to get too much glue on your fingers. You could always try out things. You know, we had some sequins. I was thinking about putting sequins on this, but I really decided I just like the fabric better. But you can add things. You can add yarn, as you saw in some of the samples in the beginning. This is a second one I'm doing, and same thing where you join the two pieces of mat board together. You can use cardstock. It's not quite as sturdy. The sturdier the better for fabric collage. You just want to make sure you get the two pieces taped. And you choose your fabric for the background. Make sure that fabric has been ironed, or if it needs iron, you don't want any creases in it. One of our wonderful friends and kind of a mentor to me, Diane Bauer, does a whole line of beautiful fabric collage cards that she's been selling locally for years. They're really cool. There's something nice about the softness of fabric and handing somebody something special that you've made. And even though Valentine's, may have passed by the time you see this, there's always a good time to give someone something that shows them that you love them. And it's also good to, if you have like fabric, even from an old piece of clothing that you really like, just cut a little bit of it off and you can make something out of it. We're very lucky at YAC because we have so many materials to work with, because people have given us their collections of things that they've saved over the years. And so I have quite a few things to choose from. I feel pretty lucky. Cutting shapes out of the fabric. You don't need to just use the fabric as is, like cutting the parts out of the fabric, like I cut the butterflies and the hearts in the previous one. This, I'm taking a printed piece of fabric and making a heart out of it. And then I found this nice border material and thought, oh, this would be cool. So I ironed the border material down a little bit to get a nice hem on it. Something like this where you've got leaves to cut out, I'm cutting out. You don't necessarily have to follow the exact pattern. You can cut a leaf out of the leaf without having to cut the tiny little details out. It still will look really cool. Just trying to get the background out so that you have a singular item that you can put down. Placing it down where you want it. I realized, I want to put the heart down first. Fold this over because the heart will go under it. one more piece to add. And then I found this beautiful purple and gold ribbon, and I thought, oh, that'll look really nice on that. You can use yarn, you can use ribbon to add to these. Then I just finish by lining the inside with paper again, and that covers up all the edges. All done. This is the Soft Heart project. What you need for that is yarn or string. Beads are fun too, and you need cardboard. The best way to start is to cut out a heart the shape and size you want, and then trace it onto a piece of cardboard and cut the cardboard. So you want sort of stiff cardboard, not super flimsy. Then you wrap the whole thing with stuffing. You can also use wadded up paper if you don't have stuffing. Stuffing is actually better, but you can use like wadded up newspaper or newsprint as well. And then you get the heart covered, the cardboard heart covered. And then you start with one yarn and you just start winding and winding and winding. And you just keep winding until you pretty much cover the whole heart. So go, from side to side, up and down, until you have covered most of the heart. And you'll see some stuffing, but you've got the heart shape now. So I'm going to tie on another piece of yarn. I'm going to use a little pink mohair. And so you just tie it on, and then you just keep wrapping. And it doesn't matter too much which direction you go in. You just want to make sure that the yarn stays in place, and so you pull it pretty tight. The ribbon that you want to see at the front of it is some of the last that you'll put on, and I found some pretty fabric ribbon with some gold and red, and so I'm using that you'll see will be more visible on top. And this cool kind of embroidered ribbon. Then once you're done, you just tie everything off. You can, if you want to, introduce beads anytime, at the end when you're putting the end pieces on, if you want beads. I didn't choose to have beads on this one, but I like the idea of this gold ribbon, so I'm wrapping it around the heart. Voila! The materials you'll need for this dream catcher are ribbons and fabric strips. You can even just take fabric and make it into strips. Beads are nice to have. Bells are great. Mostly ribbons and wire. A good strong wire. The wire, it needs to be stiff enough that you can form a heart and it's not going to bend when you're pulling all the ribbons onto it. And a good pair of scissors. That's pretty much all you need for this project. So you'll start with about 40 inches of wire, I would say. So this is about this much. And then you wrap the wire around itself, get to the middle point. Easier said than done. And I'm gonna start wrapping it around itself. So we have a double thickness of wire. It'll just give us more to grab onto. And we're just gonna wrap it, and then we'll shape it into a heart. So you wanna just wrap it. Make sure those ends will meet, and then we'll go ahead and shape it into a nice heart shape. This is a little bit bigger than I had anticipated, so you can go larger, you can go smaller. I think I cut about 40 inches worth of wire to get to this. So I'm wrapping it onto itself like that, and I'll take, I should have needle nose pliers would be handy here. So you just want to make sure that this wraps around itself and that you can start kind of shaping it into a heart. So you've got to get those ends clamped down. I've got it in a circle right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use this part as the middle of the heart. So I'm just going to kind of shape it. You want to use wire that's stiff enough. I got this at the M&S, and they call it tie wire. I believe they use it in construction a lot. It looks like this. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to get some pliers and just bring those ends down to make it look a little neater. So this is strong enough, it's stiff enough to be able to start weaving ribbon on. So you just begin with one type of ribbon or fabric strip or string. You can use all kinds of things. You can use wrapping paper, like gift ribbon, that sort of thing. Satin ribbon is great. And you just start wrapping around the wire. You want to go up and under and back again, and so that it really anchors onto the wire, and you just kind of start creating a web with your first type of string, and you just keep on going with that and just kind of wrap it until you feel like you've kind of covered the area. It also is a good idea to wrap around the whole wire to cover the wire, and you can do that with whatever string you decide to use. I then added the green sequined ribbon that we happen to have at YAC. It's amazing the things that I find at YAC. Anyway, and I wrapped the wire itself with that sequin ribbon. So you just kind of keep going and then choose whatever other ribbon you want. And then weave it in and out. There's no set pattern. You can add beads if you want. Just kind of play with it. And usually I'll use 3 or 4 different types of ribbon for this particular project. And it's good to save ribbon. There's always something you can make with it. You just want to make sure you anchor it really well. And like I said, go around and around, not just around once. So it will hold the ribbon in place then. And then when you get ready, just tie it off onto the wire. And you can also tie another ribbon onto that and continue on. And cut off any extras that you don't want. So now I'm adding some beads just to add a little bit of extra. And this could either be hanging down or it could be used as the hanger itself. I'm using a thinner string that I kind of wove in and out as well as part of the dream catcher.
You may find that something's got a little loosened in the process, so you can always take some more ribbon and, keep wrapping. And again, projects like this are, the fun of it is this in the surprise. It's hard to have an exact plan, so whatever you create kind of comes out as a nice surprise for you. So I think this will look really pretty in a window. So I'm going to go ahead and tie it off and then add one more thing. I'm going to tie it actually to this ribbon, so you can tie off the ribbons to each other when that works. Sometimes that's a good thing to do for tightening things up. The most important thing is to remember to wrap when you wrap around twice. First you go around and then around again and again, and that will anchor it. So now I'm going to just trim off the extra stuff. I'm going to keep these little wisps of pink because I think they're kind of cool. And then I'm just going to take some monofilament fish line, invisible, which I use for all kinds of things. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a hanger. So I just need to get it, really all I need is to put it through one side, and it's hard for you to see what I'm doing because I'm working with invisible fish line. So here's the fish line, and I put it through one side and then through another, just making sure it's kind of in the center. And then I just kind of get it in between ribbons so it's not. Okay, so now I've got there's that with the fish line, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in the light. I think you're going to like it. It's a fun project to do at home. And again, you can do any shape. You could do circles, squares, triangles, stars. So that's that. Here, this one's all done. It's like a little heart dream catcher.
You also can add beads to the bottom if you would like. You can add beads throughout. I just kind of did a little necklace of beads. It can also be used as the hanger as well. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy making this project. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, it's Raven, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a heartmobile. First, you're going to want to grab some paper, and you want that paper to be either cardstock, construction paper, or even like the thicker sketchbook papers. You want the paper to have some structure. So you're going to take your first piece of paper and fold it in half, and then on the folded edge, you're going to start your drawing half of a heart. And we're doing this so when we cut it out, the heart is going to be symmetrical. Once you get a heart shape that you like, go ahead and cut that out. After your first heart is cut, go ahead and take the rest of your papers and fold them all in half. Once you have all of your papers folded, you want to match the folded side of the heart to the folded side of the paper. And then you're going to want to take a pen or pencil and you're going to trace the half of heart on all of them. And then after you do that, you're just going to go ahead and cut out all the heart shapes. Once you have all of your heart shapes cut out, you can now start to brainstorm on how you want to decorate your hearts. You can really use whatever medium you want to decorate your hearts, especially if you use like thicker paper that holds different mediums well. For my first heart, I decided to do a little like magazine clipping collage. So I cut out these two girls and then I'm marking where I want them and then gluing the back of them, and then I'm going to place them exactly where I left those pencil marks on the heart. After they're glued down, I flip the heart over and cut off the extra overhanging paper, and now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the background, and I decide I'm going to outline them in pink. I am using a pink Posca paint pen marker to do this. And then I'm going to go in with a black pen and outline the pink outline I just did. I wanted the girls to be talking to each other, so I decided to add some speech bubbles with some dialogue in them. On the top bubble I write "Friends Forever," and then on the bottom one I write "You Bet." And now I'm just going in and doodling some hearts with the Posca paint pens because it's Valentine's Day and you can never have enough hearts. Now I'm on to my second heart, and I want this heart to be a character, so I'm drawing a pair of lips and 2 eyeballs. Once I get the drawing how I like it, I grab some oil pastels and I use the back of the heart to test the colors, which is a great tip if you aren't too sure if you're going to like how a color is going to look on your colored paper. Just flip the heart over and use the back of it as a test sheet. But I'm going in with pastels. I'm coloring the lips red. Also, another tip is if you're going to use markers, oil pastels, colored pencils, even paint, I recommend, and if you draw first, I recommend erasing your pencil lines so they're barely there, because if you don't, those mediums will smear the graphite and then it's going to look a little muddy and messy. So I erased the eyeballs so I could barely see them, and I'm going in with pastels. I want the eyeballs to be brown, so I'm going with a brown and then a yellow to make them pop a little more. And then I'm going to do the whites of the eyeballs, and then once everything is colored in, I'm going to take my black oil pastel and outline everything. Now I'm just shading with a little bit of the black to make the eyeshadow, and then adding some white highlights to make the eyes pop. And yeah, I really like how this one turned out. She's cute. Now I'm on to my third heart, and for this one I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, so I just decided to doodle. I just doodled whatever came to mind, and that happened to be a cat with a crown and some troll dolls. I used Posca paint pens, Crayola markers, Tombow markers, my pencil to doodle with, and I'm drawing the first troll right now. When I was drawing him, it was kind of creeping me out, but I end up really liking him. I drew him as Cupid, thought that was kind of cute. Now I'm outlining him in black to just make him pop some more. He looks like a very groovy troll, and I love that. But yeah, with these hearts you can decorate them however you want to with whatever medium, and just let yourself have a bunch of fun with this project. This is my fourth and final heart for this project. You can make as many hearts as you want to. I decided to only make 4, and I wanted this heart to be a bit more Valentine-y themed, so I decided to draw some sweet hearts, and I'm writing some messages in them, and then I'm going to go back in and outline them. Once you have all of your hearts decorated, go ahead and take like a piece of scrap paper and put it in the middle, in between of one of the hearts, and then glue one half, and then you're going to take another heart and stick that half onto the glued half, and then you're going to repeat that process until you only have one more heart left to glue. And you're not going to glue the last heart yet. Okay, now we're going to make our heart hangable. So you're going to take some string, measure it to how like long you want the mobile to hang, and then you're going to get some beads and you're going to pick a bottom bead. My bottom bead is going to be that green heart, and I want to string one end of the string through the heart, and then I want to take that clear heart bead and put both ends of the string through that one, so it creates like a loop around the green heart and it makes like a stopper. I tie a knot, and then I take another bead and I put both ends of the string through that bead and through the rest of the beads. Once you have your bottom half of the string of beads done, you're going to take your hearts that you already glued together and you're going to lay the string in the middle of that, and then you're going to take your last heart and put glue all over it, and then you're going to glue the heart down to the other two heart sides. And now the string should be stuck in the middle. And now you're going to take a bead and you're going to string that on. And then just keep stringing beads onto the strings, how many ever you want, and once you're satisfied, you're going to want to tie a knot to stop the beads from coming off, and then you're going to go like an inch above the knot you made. I added another bead, and then above that bead I make a knot, and then an inch above that I make another knot, and then I cut the excess string off, and with that inch of string between the two knots, that's how you're going to hang your heartmobile. And this is the finished product.
I hope you enjoyed seeing these projects, and I hope you enjoy working on them. Remember, making art, you always have something to give, and every day can be Valentine's Day.